Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and as you can see in front of you, we are looking out at the viaduct that we made in the last episode. Now, one of the comments I have read has suggested that perhaps I should work on fixing up the viaduct on the bendy wobbly side, and I think I do agree. Whilst it does give it some character, an actual viaduct would probably not be made to be so wobbly. In addition to that, we are going to have to do a little bit of detailing work in this video. In fact, you can just about see, if I just move this camera icon just over there, you can see some missing areas of fields. So we are going to have to do a little bit in the way of detailing work. And then once we have done that, so fix the viaduct, do a little bit of detailing, and then we are going to set up the trains and catch a train from West Mersey over to Berwick upon Tweed. Yes, I am now pronouncing it correctly. Do apologise for being so southern. It is Berwick upon Tweed, and I should have known that. In fact, I did know that. But for some reason, I looked at it and went Berwick, even though I know that the W is silent. But there you go. So we are going to take a journey from West Mersey to Berwick upon Tweed, which in real life would be a good 200, 300, probably 350 to 400 miles. I think 350 miles. But in this, it is just going to be a few miles. So make sure you stay tuned for some detailing, some bridge rebuilding, and a train. I'll try and say that properly again. Make sure you stay tuned for some detailing, some bridge rebuilding, and a train ride-along. Right, now the first thing I'm looking at is I'm just trying to determine where things look okay or do not look okay. So forget the detailing for the moment. I'm looking at this bridge, and I think this bridge, I'm not 100% keen on the bridge starting as it does, although it's probably a good idea, but perhaps I should bring the bridge a little bit further back and then put an actual embankment here instead. That's one thing. The other thing I'm a little bit concerned about is the way in which the bridge height changes, because it does not look like the bridge stays perfectly straight in the way I would want to, and I think there isn't much I can do about that. Now, on this side, I'm okay with this turn, but what I think I need to do is I think I need to bring this further along here and then turn it a little bit more sharply for this particular corner to go across like this, and that is what I'm going to try. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to actually demolish this area, but only up to there, because we're going to be turning and curving this one around, and that curve that goes around to this side is not going to interfere with the rest of this. So if it doesn't go well, I can always connect it back up without too much of an issue. So let's go ahead and find the right speed. We're going to stick to 50 miles per hour for this. I am going to be bringing these up to some 80, 90 miles per hour at some point, but at this point in time, it is not that point. So if I go ahead and do this, and this is just the area in which I get a little bit concerned. That's quite an uphill climb, you see. I mean, well, it says an uphill climb just due to the nature of the way this all goes. In fact, this still goes downhill. So if I keep this going downhill like that, perhaps. If I did, say, that's downhill all the way, bring this back to approximately here. And then I'll do that. And then I'm hoping that this curve works as I want it to. That isn't correct. Okay. It's the wrong material, but it certainly works. It's a little bit higher than I'd want it to be though. It's just a little higher. For some reason. So, what is the right material for it? Not that. Not that. That's one. That's the right material. Okay, so let's go ahead and attempt this. Okay, small or medium sized. This is where I think, because it's a large viaduct, we probably want medium sized, right? So I think those ones work a little better. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now the other parts we need to rearrange is going to be, which one have I pulled out? The outer one. Okay, so let's go ahead, for example, and just take out just this here, and then connect that up and see what it does. It's a smoother curve. It's a much smoother curve. Slightly higher viaduct. Not entirely keen on how it's doing what it's doing here. But if I take that, demolish this, and then try and do this again. It's still just a bit. No, stop that. I think it's the angle. It's just a little too. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just the angle here. It's not terrible, because I think we are going to have to rework this at some point. But there's that line. Now if we follow this one along here, we still get to keep the 50. We have a bridge pillar collision for some. Ooh, hang on. There we go. No, that then blocks us on this side. Blast. Right. I need to be quite careful here. I could very well do that. Which could, again, that could work. I think let's take that as a potential, and then bring this along up to here. And let's take this out. See if this works for us. And then, do you know what? That is a better junction. Right. Thank you. I cannot recall what your name was, but thank you for that suggestion, and I hope that this actually does exactly what you were expecting. Let's go ahead and demolish all of this. I mean, to be fair, in the future we're probably going to end up with some of these just sitting there doing nothing, because that is what we have in the UK at the moment with some of these older bridges. So that is that done. That no longer so bendy. I'm not, still a little bit of a kink here. I'm not keen on. I'm not keen on this little. Can you see that just there? So if I were to take this out up to this point, up to this point, and then try to do that. It's still... There's a major turn here. Why is that? Okay, let's try and give this a bit more opportunity to not do that. Ah, that's a little better. I think what it is that I turned this too quickly. That's what it is. Okay. Now we're all right. So we turn, we've got the straight, there doesn't seem to be anything out of the way, and there's a way for ships to get through. 2 options for ships right there. Let's go ahead and do the second. It still leaves us 1, 2, 3 opportunities for ships to make their way through, and that is much better. Right, so now that that's done, by the way, there are other bits and bobs that I'm not all too keen on. Let's go ahead and fix some of these farms. So first off, I'm going to just delete that one. You can go away. You are going to, I think you can come up to here, and let's go up like that. That's your farm. This one's going to come along here, and then I'll just do something along these lines. And guess what? We'll just connect that up there. That looks okay. I'm then going to take that out, and does that become one farm? There's potential for it, but I'm actually going to make it an odd-shaped farm, because we do have those in the United Kingdom. There we go. That's not too bad. Over here we've got... Oh, that's where the bridge initially went, so we'll bring that back in. And just looking at this, we could probably have farms on this side too. So I'm going to look at how I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think we should do that. So let's go ahead and detail this up too. I'm actually going to give this just a little bit more space than I have done previously. Again, this is the more I travel around the UK, the more I learn about what is the ideal way to do certain things. And this one, as you can see, I'm giving it a lot of space. It's just making it look like it's you know, so for example, I'll bring it in like that, and then I'll connect it up there. Then I'll have a look at that, and I'll say, well, you know what, to be fair, I'm not entirely keen on that section, but this section is fine. So I'll probably do... Now I want to bring this a little closer than I currently have it. There we go. And now I should be able to do what I want to do, which is that. Okay, great. Then what I want to do is probably have a farm going up like so, and we'll connect it up there. These farms were all, we can say all these farms were rearranged, and this can come down like that. It dips a little bit more than I think it should, so I'm just going to fix it by doing that and then connecting the two up. This needs to be connected like that. Should I just do this bit as well whilst I'm at it? Why not? There we go. And then rounded edge there, and probably more of an acute edge here. Yep. Okay. Then for this, we have this road here. So I was actually thinking I'd do something a little bit strange here. I say strange, it's not particularly strange, but it may look just a smidge strange. And that is what I wanted to do there. And then from there, I would run a farm down. Oops. No. That's what I want. Farm down like that. And then, could I really do that if I wanted to? No, let's leave that. That's quite a large farm. We'll leave that as it is. So that is that area all sorted. Off camera, I sorted out a few other bits and bobs. I haven't done this bit here just yet. Oh, okay. Stop lagging. Thank you. I haven't done this bit here as of yet. It's probably worth me doing, even though a lot of this is going to change. But never mind. Go ahead and do that. And we will follow. I say we will follow. We will follow. Why are you not doing what I want you to do anymore? Roughly follow then. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's bring this right up here, and then we'll turn this, go along here, and we'll do that, saying, well, there's a farm, just a small farm, just left there. That would probably work out quite nicely, quite realistically. There we go. I think that will work. On this side, I'll have to decide what to do. Certainly the same on this side. That is all done. That's done. That's a rather large farm, but that's okay. Sometimes you can have large farms. This is all done. This is all done. I've done this part off camera. There is this little section here to complete, so let me go ahead and do this section now. I will just have it move just a little in and out, as it were, because when I start putting details in, and I am going to have to put details in at some point, we are going to have a lot of extra bits and bobs. Right, now this section is another section I'm just trying to work out how to best do, and I think the best way for me to do this is going to be to do this, and then say, well, the farm ended here, like that, and I'll fill in that area in a moment. I will connect, no, straighten up, this and this up. There we go. And then we've got the farmland here, and we've got the marks here as well to do farmland like so. And we have ones here, so I'll use this one for example. Oops. No, come on. There we go. Like so. And for this bit here, I'm going to say, well, let's say that we had a farmland like this, and we've got one farm that does this really strange shape like that. Looks a little strange, but I think it will work in the long run for us. So now all I've got to do is connect this up and connect, oops, this up. I think I'm all right. No, wait, there's one more to connect. This one here. There we go. I think that's the rest. The rest of these things are connected. Okay, you can also see off camera I have filled in a lot more of the farms. I've made it down to markets almost. There's little bits and bobs here and there to go. And I have done this area here, so almost at Ollerton. I have also tried to further the actual borders on the road, so you can see all of this is done up to this point, which means we are nearing Batsley over here. So the plan is I'm going to try, before the next video, I want to try and get this area farmed up. Then after the next video, perhaps try and get this Croydon area done, then this area, then down towards Maryport, then this area over here around Batsley, then this area to Bridgenorth, then probably this small area here, then I might look at this building in this area up to Shepshire, then I'll move the way down. And as you can see, we're not too far from the bottom of the map. It is just taking an incredibly long time, just because there is a lot that's going on. How are things running in this town whilst I'm here? I think things are going okay. I am still concerned about how I'm going to get road traffic wandering around, because it's going to be rather poor if we have all these roads, all these magnificently made roads, and all these buildings, and all you get is passenger foot traffic. That would be a bit of that would be a bit annoying, to be completely honest. But I think we may have no choice. Right, what I need to do next is going to be let's see. I think let me add in a little bit of detailing in terms of paint. So I would like, let's start with wheat, because wheat is always a good one. Wheat. There we go. So I'll pick a couple of wheat farms, and we will just go ahead and do it. That one there. There's one. So that becomes a wheat farm, and everything inside this farm will be erased. All the trees and everything are going to be erased from inside this particular farm. I'm going to use this one and make that slightly smaller, because what I just did, I did not want to do. That was a mistake. It's going to be very careful in some areas. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their day, whatever day this is coming out on. I think in this case this one might be coming out on a Thursday instead of a Tuesday, just because of my recording schedule at this point in time, and videos that I'm trying to make or sort out. For example, flight simulation videos, they are coming back. I've just done a recent update to all of my sims and add-ons and everything, made sure everything's up to scratch. It's what it should be, etc. So that is something that is coming. Maybe as early as this weekend. I shall have to see. I'm thinking of live streaming a few. I am considering live streaming a few of the flight simulation runs that I do. I think that would be pretty cool. This one becomes a wheat farm. Oh, I'm just going to check which one should I make a wheat farm. That's one. This one should be one. Just doing the areas around Berwick. This one should be one. There's apparently two farms here, but I'm actually going to do it across it. So we've got 2 wheat farms. I think that's pretty realistic. We do often find areas where there are lots of similar farms. Then we'll have a farm gap, and then this one can end up being another wheat farm. Thank you, autosave. Tells me we're about half hour in, or thereabouts, maybe just under half an hour in, because obviously the intro that I have to do and everything, so maybe 25 minutes or so in. Come on, autosave. Anytime now, thank you. And then we'll do the same over here. Very careful here. Oh, that was close. Yeah, I think that's reasonable for some wheat farms. We're not oversaturating everything with wheat. Although we do like our wheat, of course. Bread, cereals, things like that. We do like wheat. And corn. And oats. And rice. Now my one concern that I do have is that when it does come to me cleaning these up and replacing these grass borders with fences, I'm just a little bit concerned as to how things may end up looking. Hopefully it should be okay though, because I mean I've done it before around the is it Carnforth? I've done it near there, so I think it can be done. It's just a matter of getting it done properly. Right, that looks okay. Let's go ahead and get this one. Let's do the corners first. There we go. If I rotate this brush, what would... I mean, it's a circle, so I guess it's going to remain that circle. The reason I'm thinking is that if I use a square and I rotate it, would it be better for me? I think it might be. Yep, that actually does tend to work a little better, because I can make a much bigger square, rotate it. Can I rotate it in smaller increments? No. That's a little bit annoying. I was hoping I could rotate it but in 5-degree increments. Anybody know a mod that could perhaps do that for us? I think maybe sticking with the circle might be still the better option. Yeah, I think sticking with the circle may just still be the better option here. I think it's easier to control the circle because you're only pushing into, essentially you're pushing into a single point. So it's certainly easier to control that circle. There we go. Across here, follow the shape. I remember at the start I was trying to make these all square, and I learned that instead of doing it square, you can actually go ahead and do it in all these weird shapes, just like we actually have, not just very fundamental, rudimentary shapes. We do have all these more fancy shapes. There we go. It's another one done, and now we just have to do these two, and I think that's enough in the way of wheat farms. Then I'll try and do. I am going to use another one. Try and do another one in this colour. So let's see. To be honest, I'm kind of in a mind whether or not to do this as 2 episodes. So in some ways, I think doing it as 2 episodes is better. So 1 episode for me doing this detailing. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. One of us doing 1 episode doing the detailing and 1 episode doing the ride-along. But the problem is that then we're going to end up with, that's going to be 2 weeks, and it doesn't get much done, you see. So that's why I tend to make these episodes about an hour long or time-lapse them. Is because I'm trying to get as much done as I can. So if it's something I'm going to do over an hour, I'll just record one hour episode. If I'm going to do something that's going to take longer than an hour, for example 1.5 hours or something, 1 hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. If it's 2.5 hours, that's definitely time-lapse territory. Then I'll time-lapse it and try and bring it down to a 1 hour video or a 40-minute video or something along those lines. That's generally my thinking on it and how I'm trying to approach this, but it isn't the easiest thing to do, particularly as 1 hour videos. It is a little long. If we are honest, that is, I would say that is certainly a little long. Go. Works well. That works well too. Okay. Kind of half. These trees need to go. There we go. You need to go. Kind of tempted to keep that one tree in the middle. Just gives it a bit of a nicer look. Okay, let's do a little bit more painting. Let's spend a few more minutes painting. Let's see. So these irises, I think they are. How well can you see them from? I don't think you can see them that well. If we're going to do that, we need to have that closer to the track. For example, here. Those are roses. Wow. Okay. So, tulips. I've got an idea. How about a field of... Right. Here we go. We're going to start with a field of roses. That's very red. Actually, that looks so nice. That actually looks really, really nice. I was going to say I was going to mix it with some lavender and some tulips and things like that, turn it into a meadow, but that just looks really nice on its own. One field of roses. Which would make sense, you know, someone would grow roses. They're very common. They're a common thing to sell, so you would get instances where you'd have a field of roses. I don't think I've ever seen a field of roses personally, but I would imagine that these are grown in such a fashion. I think. There we go. Over here. Along here. And I know we've dipped in somewhere. Where is it? I saw there it is. And so I need to be a little bit more careful just here. Just to do that. There we go. That's not too bad. Okay. So we have roses. Now roses are going to be hard to come by. So I wouldn't put lots and lots of those. What are you? Are you that? I can't remember if you're the one that I like using. No, but I'm going to use you anyway in not here. Go away. I'll use you. Ooh. I'll use you up here. Yeah, let's use you in this one. Right. We'll make that nice and large. Bring that across, and this is the last one I'll do before we actually grab a train. I think otherwise the detailing could go on for a long time, and I'm fairly sure Nobody wants to see detailing going on for such a long time. It'd just be very, very tiresome to do that all in one episode. Obviously, I'm continuing to do things off camera as best as I can, when time permits. Of course, time does not always permit me to do that, but I do try to do little bits off camera, just as a sort of making sure that I'm not repeating the exact same thing every time, every episode, one after another. So I'm not doing, so we don't want train ride-alongs every single episode. We don't want detailing every single episode. We want a mix. Some route building, some detailing, some city building, some train ride-alongs, some things like that. And that's why I do things off camera that are quite tedious. There we go. That will do nicely. And I think last off we'll get rid of you and you. And I think we should probably place some trees here. Oak. There we go. Brush size. There. Strength. That. Like so. Like so. Should I do it on this side as well? Going into... Yeah, let's do it sort of making its way, working its way into this forest a little. So we're sort of at the edge of a forest, so it is making its way in ever so slightly. And we just happen to stretch it out to here because of the farmland. And then what we do is we will actually make farmland adjustments to accommodate the forest. So we will actually adjust this farm to be like this instead. There we go. And then we will, of course, just delete these bits here on the edge of this farm. And I think that looks pretty good. Almost. Yep, that does look pretty nice. I'll figure out what to do here. I'm not entirely sure at this point in time, but that there is looking pretty good. So what we need to do now is quickly save the game. You can see that the game has been crashing at points, so you can see that. But once the game is saved, I'm going to set up the route and see if we can get the trains going along. So this is the route that we're going to be changing. We're going to change the name Bracknell to Berwick, and we're going to go manage line. I will add station. Station shall be Berwick upon Tweed, and then on the way back the station shall be West Mersey again. That looks good to me. Okay, and all we need to do now is just check what platform does it come into, and do you know what, that's... Let's bring this in on a different platform. Platform 3 should do the trick, right? Because then that... Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so all we have to do is find a train, jump onto said train, which is this one here, change the camera. That was scary. how do I... Right, I want... The problem here is which one I'm after, which is the front. I would like a camera on this. We could try and just look out of this porthole. Okay. How do I go up? X is down, Z is up. There we go. And that's not too bad a view, but I've just got a feeling going around corners this is going to be a little bit of an issue. But we'll see. But we shall see. So here we go, coming into West Mersey, as one would expect. And nothing different here. Everything is pretty much the same. I am going to end up getting rid of those houses. Right. Yeah, I am going to end up getting rid of those houses, not the ones that you see just now, but when we go around the corner, when we get in towards the station, there are some houses, or 2 rows of houses that are essentially, in a way, part of the station, and we are going to get rid of those fairly soon. We are slowing down. And into West Mersey we come with all of these passengers. One thing you will notice is, if you look ahead through the porthole as it is, you'll notice that I have changed the crossing, the level crossing there. And I think that looks much better, and you'll see that level crossing is about to open for us as soon as we depart. And there it goes. And I think that dynamic works so well for this particular level crossing with the station right here, particularly as we increase the station size. The station is going to come up to probably right here, and that's going to be really awesome. So here we go onto the new track, heading towards Berwick upon Tweed, which means that the river that we have is the River Tweed. Although Berwick is not exactly on the river, but it's just, since that's the first one we have. Now we have peeled off before towards the left, so we've done that already. This is the new section. You can see that there is a downhill. We do have a descent here, and that descent does last quite a long while. Unfortunately, there wasn't much else I could figure out. There wasn't anything else I could do here. I was sort of stuck as to how to get the train out of the hill on the other side in the most suitable manner. And this is what I've got. If you think that this is not such a good idea, do let me know in the comments box. I think that this is an okay idea. I don't think it's the greatest of ideas, but I do think that it is an okay idea. And then of course we're going to go into the embankment that we just built, where we got rid of the wobbly viaduct and built the embankment. You, Mr. Large Fox, are going to end up in trouble, so instead of going straight at this point in time, we do turn a little bit to the left, and then we will turn to the right to join up onto the viaduct. So there we go, on the viaduct and turning right. Signal is of course clear for us, but that is to be expected because, well, there's only us on this line at this point in time. No, we are the first train going in towards Berwick. And I do wonder how many people will be waiting at Berwick. Now, the only thing that I'm thinking about is that these 35 passengers, surely they initially wanted to go back towards Ely. So I'm not certain that people are going to be disembarking the train I actually do not think they will disembark the train. Farmland looks rather nice. I think maybe I can add some animals in some of those farms now. Sheep, cows, those sorts of things. Maybe a little patch for horses. That might work quite nicely and look alright. Not entirely certain though, but that's my thinking. Straight across the viaduct. I'll be honest, that was not too bad at all. If we can take this viaduct at a maximum of about 60 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour, that would be pretty cool in the faster trains in a few decades' time. Still a clear signal, of course. Z-axis fighting on the semaphores there. So you did see that it looked like it was red, and then you saw the green behind it, and it was flickering between the two. Unfortunately, I do not think there is anything I can do to prevent that, which is a shame. But that is unfortunately the state of affairs. If there is anything I can do, I will do it, and if you have any suggestions, of course, let me know. A small climb up here because we wanted to bridge over the old road instead of doing a level crossing, as that road, I have an intention of that road becoming an important road. So I thought, let me future-proof this just a little and build this. Hello. This does look quite nice. In fact, that does work for me over there. So that's one of the things we just painted. The fields really look nice, and you can see the quarry in the distance in the hillside. Which again, I think some of these angles really do work. Now, if I remember correctly, this is where the rose field is, and the wheat field, which we cannot actually see. So it's this one here, I think, is the roses. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. On the side of here, I might add some bushes and things, some additional foliage, and maybe a tree or two at the top. But certainly some bushes here, maybe a few rocks, to be honest. You could do that as well. And we are on we are essentially on final approach into Berwick. In fact, you can see the town just ahead of us. And the idea is, hopefully, if it all goes well, the town will have expanded over to this point here. So at this point, we should be going through houses. Or say going through houses, I mean going alongside houses, not through. Certainly not through. Just like at this point in time, if I just move over to this side and take the role of the other fellow, and perhaps look up and over there. Just like over here, so if all of this ends up with housing in this area and this area, and we'll just be taking the rails alongside all of these houses and buildings, and I think that if we do that, that's going to look great. Whoa, that's rather bumpy. Okay, and now we're slowing down. Nationwide, we're on your side. It's a little bit laggy here. That junction was really laggy for some reason. And that is one run into Berwick-upon-Tweed, where there are 15 passengers waiting. That's not a lot. That really is not a lot. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the bare necessities. No. I'm going to look for an opportunity to, for example, there, to take a few pictures to end this video. That doesn't look too bad. Could I zoom in a little bit more on this? Actually, that's pretty neat. I mean, if it was from low down, that would be different. But it's like we're taking a helicopter shot in the past. Yeah, that is what we're taking over here. So there's one picture. But yes, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon. Also, if you can do so, www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your supports will be massively appreciated. The funds that I get from that are the funds that I essentially use for I essentially use those funds for to improve my goods, I say goods, I'm looking at this, to improve my computer, to improve my audio equipment, all of that kind of thing, all of those kind of things, sorry. And that's how I progress and build things up. So if you can do that, that would be really awesome. But if not, of course I do understand people are busy, and there's you do require. That looks really nice. I need to take a picture somewhere with that. People have funds that are required for various different things, but a like and a subscription is absolutely free. Well, not if it's on Twitch, but liking and subscribing is absolutely free on YouTube. Also, if you can do so, do go check me out on social media. That one is certainly free as well. That's www. I said www. It's twitter.com/ECGadget and also ECGadgetLP, sorry, and also Instagram.com/ECGadgetLP. I need to stop this because I'm seeing an opportunity for. Yes, it's here. I thought I would see that. That is a... Come on. There we go. Oh, okay. 55mm camera. There we go. I need to see the road as well. That's not too bad a photo. And could I go to the 80? Yep, that would work just a little better. In fact, the tree also kind of helps just a little. Unfortunately, I cannot move the tree quite where I want it to be. But hey, look, that's a pretty good screenshot. And then lastly, the last screenshot I'm going to take is going to be the one where I think we should be about here. And I'm just going to double check. I can just about see the quarry in the distance. So let's do this and see what comes of it. But yes, ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and I will see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, where I think I'm going to look at working on. I think one of the things that. Oh, okay. You kind of blocked the. Never mind. I think I'm going to look at working on some goods because we've not done freight lines in quite a while. So I think perhaps we should look at some freight, maybe construction materials, and start getting these cities to want to expand naturally, because I think that is also going to be rather important. I'll see you next time.